Welcome back. We're almost ready for the second half here at the Gallagher Stadium. Let me just point you in the direction of some rugby tomorrow. The Singer Premiership Rugby Sevens finals, in fact, tomorrow at 1:30. We're live from the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. 8 teams are vying to be crowned the series winner, including last year's runners-up Wasps. We are ready for the second half. Let me hand you back to the commentary team, Adam Virgo and Adam Somerton.
Thank you, Natalie. York's last season at this level actually began not too far away from here, less than 20 miles in fact, were 2-1 winners at Ebbsfleet United in August 2011. Ironically, the club that Maidstone beat in last season's playoff final, and from the evidence, Adam Virgo, of that first half, it looks as though Maidstone have taken that confidence that they have, that momentum from the end of last season into this.
Yeah, I mean, York did start well for the first few minutes, trying to pass it down that we knew that Jackie McNamara's side wanted to do, but then after that, they really came into their own, Maidstone. I think they settled into the game well. They were passing it, and also as well, they're using their long throws and their set plays to good effect. And in the end, Greenhow got in good positions. Fletcher's led the line brilliantly, and now Jackie McNamara needs a reaction from his side in the second half.
You just say that it doesn't faze him being one of the big clubs in the league, being favourites in a lot of the games that they will play. He said that he's used to it from his 10 years at Celtic, where, of course, the expectation growing up there was that they had to win every game.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly a legend up there when I signed, and really, really well thought of. So he knows about dealing with pressure.
Jack Higgins with the header clear for York. Fletcher with the early cross. Kept him well here. As Murphy gets it in, it's well gathered by Flinders.
Well, again, the pitch coming into play, an overhit cross stays in. I was talking earlier, it's dry. Many times on a grassy surface, that has skidded out. Tom Murphy's always still aware to attack that far post, getting on his left.
O'Connolly looking to try and get him behind here. Important touch by Driver.
Well, this is what you want to see more of Connolly in this second half. Getting in good positions. It's important their Driver made the challenge correctly.
Kukowski with the corner. Came off Mills, and it's driven in on the half volley. Well, a bit of intent then from York at the start of the second half. They certainly will need that, and Jackie McNamara will have demanded it.
Yeah, I think he would have done, Adam. I think the first half team talk would have turned a bit more character from his players, a bit more belief in that final third, trying to get his main players into good areas to try and get in this Maidstone back four. I need to test the keeper more in the second half as well.
Trying the pressure from Murphy. Whittle. Spent some time at the Glen Hoddle Academy in Spain. Alex Whittle on that left-hand side for York City. He's had 3 seasons in Scotland at Dunfermline. Greenhow, re-signed from Concord Rangers over the summer. Nice back heel to find Murphy, an arrival from Dover Athletic. It's a delivery into, trying to seek out the goal scorer Bobby Joe Taylor.
Well, it's important there, the communication of Rooney, and Clapperson is there. Needs to open out a little bit more. Higgins needs to drop onto Fletcher, and Rooney needs to be talking to Clapperson, the right side of the centre half, to mark his man.
There really is a pressure, isn't there, Adam, on those 3 new centre halves for York City in that 3-man back line to develop an understanding quickly. And here towards Murphy. We'll get Adam's view on that in a moment. This is Greenhow. They've worked their way out of a tight area really well there. The cross to the back post was decent too. It was Taylor looking to arrive in on it.
Well, they're looking dangerous down these flanks. Got to show a little bit more desire to stop the cross coming in. To me, that's too easy. It's been a good reaction in the second half from Maidstone so far, continuing what they did in that first half.
Locko's header. Helped on by Flischer. What a clever ball that was. It's Greenhow. He's got Murphy arriving in the middle. And Flischer's on the edge of the area. Well, he saw his name in lights, I think, for a moment there, didn't he?
Yeah, he needs that bit of composure when it goes back to him. And Clipperson gets caught out of position. And puts Higgins into a position that he doesn't want to be in. Well laid back. He's wondering that the referee was in his way when he went to strike it. A good counter-attack play there from Maidstone, but just needs to take a little bit out of it there and hit the target.
She scored 7 league goals for Jay Saunders' side in the league below last season, including one in the playoff semi-finals against Truro. Pat scored in both legs of that tie, actually. Fry under pressure from Murphy. He'll be a player determined to prove a point, I would think. Murphy, having been very much in and out of the side at Dover Athletic last season.
I think a lot of players see this now as a platform to progress and do well. It's a good signing that's come in. Certainly good balance on that wing as well, with Taylor on the other side.
I should say, in fairness to Tom Murphy, that he did have a hamstring injury the second game of last season, hampered him throughout the campaign, could never really get going. Hoping to do that at Maidstone United with a fresh start. Rooney. In the way of that was Tom Mills. Just been kept in though by Rooney, who brings Heslop into the game. Only headed back by the former West Ham United trainee Callum Driver. It was technically the first meeting between these clubs, but the former Maidstone United came up against York in the 91-92 season. Maidstone's last as a Football League club before they folded due to bankruptcy. The game was at Booth and Crescent, finished 1-1. The first fixture was won 1-0 by Maidstone, and the winner was scored by young Stuart Nethercott, who was on loan from Tottenham at the time. It was his first senior goal. It's a blast from the past, isn't it? Who I was speaking to before the game, the chief executive these days at Maidstone, but he's managed the club 3 times, was a player as a centre-half here as well. Whittle, who's done well to go on the outside there. The cross really didn't live up to the earlier wing play.
And when you get in that position, you do need that quality.
Whittle to have another go here. Has Connolly in support. Never stops moving, Connolly, a real live wire. Whittle, Connolly. And they find that bit of quality in the final third, the Minstermen. Heslop. Whittle. Does well to win the corner.
He done well there, Callum Driver, stopping that cross coming. It's important Alex Whittle now plays on that front foot down that left-hand side.
Kowski takes the corner short, Whittle with the crossover, but just too much on it.
I'm sure Jackie McNamara will be disappointed with the last 2 deliveries that have come in. Real quality. Plenty to think about for him today.
I know that he's very big on the mental side of the game, Jackie McNamara. Says that the way you cope with expectation really separates footballers, not necessarily all about the ability. Mental side the most important, he says.
I think he certainly takes that from his days at Celtic. It's the pressure that some players can cope with and some can't. You see Tranmere last season at home, they really struggled just because of the pressure of the home crowd every single time they played.
Heslop trying to win it back, as was Camjo. And we see the threat of Taylor on that left-hand side. It's nicely controlled by Driver. Sweeney manages to keep hold of it. Driver again. Tom Murphy. He fizzed in the cross towards Flischer. it was who got it clear for York, but it's going to come straight back at them. Another ball into the penalty area. Higgins had it clear that time. Flinders comes and gathers. Tidy header by Locker, who's a promising first start here for Maidstone. I'd say he had quite a few offers in the National League, Kevin Locker. He wanted to work under Jay Saunders, had heard good things about his coaching, his management. On the ball again here, Locker.
Those two, Achapong and Locker, will be so important for Jay Saunders this season to progress on well.
Foul here by Higgins on Greenhout. We're going to see a yellow card here, I think.
Yeah, slight frustration there from the centre half. Greenhout did brilliantly to get on the half turn. Certainly warranted a yellow card there.
He was absolutely full of goals last season. Jack Higgins playing for Stalybridge. 12 as a centre half he scored, their top scorer, would you believe? He's given away a free kick here, which will allow Maidstone to send plenty forward. Loco is one of them. Can Greenhout conjure up here? Conversation with Captain Flisher. That was what Flisher was telling him. Didn't quite work out though. Greenhout, always wanting the ball, demanding the ball. He's picked out a great ball here for Taylor, who had Murphy in the middle, Flisher there too. Flinders had to get to that, and he did. That's a really brave goalkeeper.
I think he just chose the wrong option there when he got into this position. It's a brilliant ball through from Greenhout behind Heslop. You can see Flisher there just on the edge of your screen. Maybe the cutback was on more than Murphy running across. But again, good play there from Maidstone.
Rooney's pass to Kamja. Lukowski. Kamja. Maybe just need to move it a bit more quickly here, York. Connolly. Rooney. Lukowski. Nice touch by Connolly. Promising this for York. Heslop to get ahead to it. Achapong unable to clear. Lukowski desperately trying to keep it going. Whittle's done brilliantly to keep that in. Good claim by Worgan.
Well, he's done brilliantly with Lee Worgan. One being called upon, especially with crosses.
Well, 2,500 just about inside the stadium, but they'll take a view from anywhere. Really is a big day in the history of Maidstone United Football Club, the new Maidstone United, formed in 1993. It's pretty important to York City as well, of course. Really needed to, or need to hit the ground running, having come down from League Two last season, as Greenhout is brought down here by Clapperson.
Too many times now at the front two of Maidstone, of Greenhout. Flisher have won everything in that final third. They've been absolutely brilliant, led the line well. It's a really hot day, but their work rate has been absolutely superb so far.
Looks of Loco and Achapong being watched very closely. What's the quality of the delivery to be like here from Greenhout? Into a decent area. Clapperson with a good header for York, helped out by Higgins. Nice return ball to Murphy. A shot hit first time by Greenhout. That was really travelling. Rogers. York can't get it back. in towards Locko. Flinders with the punch clear. It's off target from Greenhout.
You can see what he was trying to do. Just be clever and put it over the goalkeeper, Scott Flinders. Many people would have gone for power. It's a great strike there. Blocks in the end. Just keeping these second balls alive. Fenwick there needs to be winning that challenge. It's just mounts and mounts of pressure coming on, but you could see what he was trying to do. It was then to think it over Scott Flinders when he come for the punch.
Knows he should have done better. Certainly a player of his quality, scored 13 league goals last season for Concord, Greenhout. Not enough on that from Locko, but he's helped out by Acheampong. It's a clever flick on, isn't it, by Mills? And it sets Bobby Joe Taylor on his way. Sweeney making a move into the area, brilliant from Taylor, who's losing confidence, but maybe he was a bit too overconfident there. Connolly. Maidstone getting numbers back, crossing towards Fenwick, who's taken it down! The whistle goes, the flag was up quickly there.
You're talking about a quality ball from Connolly. He got one there. Brilliantly weighted in. I mean, that is so tight. But again, when you're looking down the line, Adam, you should be staying onside when you can see everybody in front of you.
Signed on a free transfer from Hartlepool, Scott Fenwick. He's done well in pre-season, got 4 goals. Actually played at youth level for Newcastle, Middlesbrough and Sunderland. There's some going, isn't it?
We were trying to work that one out earlier over our cup of tea, Kevin Davis and Chris Hargreaves and myself. No, he's a good signing for Jackie McNamara. Surprised Hartlepool did let him go last season.
By the looks of the number on the back of his shirt, he's been getting some treatment up there as well. Well, Maidstone, still the better side, certainly in terms of this second half. They'll no doubt have taken encouragement from the fact that all 4 of last season's promoted sides managed to stay up. There were final day escapes for Boreham Wood and Guiseley. Barrow came 11th, Bromley ended at 14th. If they can get 3 points on the opening day, we'll be really encouraged at Maidstone. Initial target clearly survival, but you just get the feeling that privately they feel they can do better than that.
I think it's always good though when you start the season and you get early wins on the board. It's always nicer to look in the papers, seeing that you're 3rd and 4th early on in this season so far. Just wonder how long Maidstone can last with this way that they are working hard today. Got a small squad. See what happened to Braintree last season. They just ran out of legs towards the end. And the depth in squad that Jackie Martner has, NT still suspended, that needs to come back. Brody as well.
Camden, still just the 1 goal in it. Fenwick to be the focal point of the York City attack. Taylor's pass back here to Morgan. Cushion pass by Fry to Whittle. Really good season at Braintree. Fry was not surprised to hear that there were several clubs interested in his services over the summer. Connolly looking to find Whittle. Put out a play by James Rogers. Heslop, and still. Clapperson. Now Rooney, who's been tracked by Mills. Kevin Locko with the clearance for Maidstone. Long ball by Higgins, underneath it was Acheampong. Maidstone feel there was a foul there by Higgins on Flisher. No real complaint from the player himself though. Whittle. Heslop. And Rooney. deflected off Tom Mills for a corner kick to York City.
And at the moment, Maidstone, when they haven't got the ball, they're really narrowing it up in that midfield area. Jackie McNamara is screaming for more width from his side. That's when those long diagonals come into play.
Fry and Higgins both forward. Hurried clearance was necessary there for Maidstone United.
I think it's going to be a big 10 minutes now for Maidstone. They just seem to be dropping off the gas a little bit with that intensity that they were playing with in the first half. It's important now York start keeping the ball, moving it quickly, using that width early on as well.
Whittle. It was by Higgins, who was forward from the back. Oh, have to get back into position.
It's important that York get Kotowski onto the ball a little bit more. He's in that area where he's not really getting many touches where he can cause any problems. Whether Maidstone is dropping a little bit deeper, dropping narrower, he might have to come short for the ball and try and create something.
Kamja. Klukowski. Whittle. Aidan Connolly had pointed where he wanted it from Whittle, but he couldn't deliver the pass. Taylor. He's really having a fine game. Just overruns it on that occasion, but he does look a threat. There's a sense of anticipation when he gets on the ball. Klukowski. Connolly has Fenwick to his right. Connolly going for the return.
Slightly more encouraging there from York. Klukowski getting into a good position. And that's what you need, those three linking up well. That's what I was saying. I mean, this will come in time with Fenwick and Connolly. The more you play together, as you mentioned earlier, Adam, Toomey, partnerships have to be struck up very, very quickly. Can't afford to have 5, 6, 7, 8 games to try and find each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Well, let's get the thoughts of the Maidstone United manager Jay Saunders on the second half so far.
And just defending the lead. Was that the message at half-time?
Yeah, definitely. I'm just a bit frustrated, to be honest. I thought we had a good couple of chances first 10 minutes of this half that we've not taken them. And obviously, it's always at 1-0, it's always a dodgy scoreline, obviously. So hopefully we can take one of them chances. But yeah, that's the frustrating thing for me.
Are you concerned that York maybe got into this game a little bit more in the second half?
Yeah, they have, and I think that's what I'm on about, looking after the ball a little bit better. We've got to make sure we do, and at times we have, but not well enough.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Well, York City still have a player down here, which is Scott Fenwick. It's just going on around it. Connolly. He's done well again here. Whittle with the ball over, and it's fallen here to Rooney. Just a bit more about York now, isn't there?
Yeah, it's just a little bit more intensity, a little bit more belief in that final third, which they were lacking so much in that first half. You can see Maidstone are now just slowly tiring that little bit with the efforts they put in for the first half and the beginning of the second half.
Maidstone have to try and keep it going. Oh, there's the header! It's the equaliser, and it's been scored by Clovis Kamja. Superbly taken, and Jackie McNamara's side are on terms.
Well, it's certainly a textbook header from Kamjo, and it's probably what York have deserved over the last 10 minutes. It's really poor marking. You're looking at Maidstone to be a lot tighter than what they are. He runs off Sweeney, and he gets a free header. No one's really marking in there. Loco maybe should have been marking in to start with. But Jay Saunders will be so disappointed that someone gets a free header like that. But Jackie McNamara will be delighted that his side's back in it.
A much needed water break being taken here by both sets of players. Well, he was under contract at Forest Green last season, Clovis Kamjo. They allowed him out on loan for the majority of the season when he was at Boreham Wood. Ended up coming back to Forest Green for the playoffs, didn't he? We saw him play as a substitute at Wembley, and his experience, lots of league experience, could be really important for York City this season.
I completely agree. You need National League experience to get promoted. Like any league, in the Football League, in the Premier League, you need that experience along the way. And he's going to be an important player for Jackie McNamara this season.
Scott Fenwick, to be fair to him, really did try to run that injury off. Hasn't been able to. And we're seeing a change here by Maidstone United in reaction to the goal. Murphy coming off, and it's Kari Yanis who's been brought on to replace him. 24 years old, he arrived from Leatherhead in January of this year. Actually started out in the lower reaches of French football at Beauvais. But it's all square at the Gallagher Stadium with 20 minutes to go. It really should be a fascinating final 20, all to play for.
I think it's a substitution that needed to be made by Jay Saunders. I think just getting a little bit more joy down that flanks.
Karagiannis, first involvement for him, looks to head for the byline.
It's an important period now for Maidstone. They don't lose their composure. Try and keep on that front foot where and if they can. Game management now for these last 20 minutes is still very high to see in there with the drinks break as well. Can't let that goal affect this performance so far because they've been excellent in every single area. Unfortunately, when you come up against quality like York, you can never really switch off.
Let's see what Jackie McNamara has made of that equalising goal. He's talking to Natalie.
Jackie, you got the equaliser you desperately needed there. Are you happy with the response in the second half?
I'm starting to pass the ball a bit now. You know, the surface there dictates that, but first half everything we're doing was too slow and pedestrian. It's just so important we get higher up in the back, with especially with a back three. It allows a wing back to get forward. At times we've been too deep there, but you see this and say the game's starting to get stretched now, so hopefully we start picking them off.
Thanks, Jackie.
Here's Rooney on the charge. Fenwick waiting in the middle. They're really starting to regain confidence here at York City and looking a threat.
Talking about playing against part-time sides, that fitness in the last 20 minutes is really going to come into play. Fullbacks are playing so much higher in this second half. The only real option that Rooney had was to go for goal. He's given a corner, and it should be a goal kick.
And it comes, and once more they look a threat from the set piece, don't they? Real anguish on the face of Fenwick.
It's a good opportunity there. Gets a good head up. Just not getting tight enough at the moment, Maidstone. Tom Mills was marking him, not tight enough.
So the issue here for the Maidstone captain Flisher is cramp. They really have already put so much into this game, but as you've been saying, Adam, and it's worth highlighting again, the part-time, full-time scenario here. I mean, it's a great weekend of action on BT Sport. Also the opening weekend in the Ladbrokes Premiership, and we bring you St Johnstone against Aberdeen. Their 4 league meetings last season produced 18 goals. West Ham welcome the Italian champions Juventus to the Olympic Stadium tomorrow. That available in 4K via BT Sport UHD, as is the Community Shield, live from Wembley. Leicester City against Manchester United. Paxman brought on here by Jay Saunders. Sweeney is the player withdrawn, signed from Witham in July of 2015. Jack Paxman really turning to his bench now. Jay Saunders, as we were just mentioning, Adam, he'll be thinking about the fitness issue, how many minutes are in the legs, particularly after pre-season. Dumaka also about to be brought on. He has worked tirelessly.
Yeah, he has. He's been absolutely superb today, Alex Flisher. Never easy playing that lone striker role on your own, but he's linked up brilliantly with Ben Greenhout. Maybe we should have had a goal in the second half.
Dumaka signs from Grays Athletic on a free in February, scored 6 goals in his 15 league games last season, and of course got that dramatic injury time equaliser in extra time in the playoff against Ebbsfleet United last season. Without that goal they wouldn't be here, simple as that. Clearance by Fry. York's goal scorer Kamja. Locko. Paxman beaten to it by Kamja. Heslop. Paxman trying to win it back, but unfairly. Free kick to York, which they're keen to take quickly. Klukowski with the layoff to Kamja. This is Whittle. Klukowski. Heslop with a bit of space to work with here and looks to drive it towards goal. Just bounced in front of the goalkeeper Morgan.
It's important now that Maidstone don't lose their shape in the middle of that midfield.
And just running across the bottom of your screen, all today's 3 o'clock kickoffs in the National League. Boreham Wood against Forest Green, one that perhaps stands out. Forest Green, the favourites with many bookmakers to win the league. Dagenham and Redbridge, who came down from League 2 with York, start home against Southport. Sutton United and Solihull Moors meet as well, of course, the 2 6th-tier champions last season. We should remind you as well that the National League highlights programme is at 10 o'clock on BT Sport tomorrow night. We'll bring you every goal from all of those games. Greenhow has done well here. He's brought Paxman into play. Karagiannis now, another one of the substitutes.
There's 2 opportunities earlier. Greenhouse certainly to have a shot, then on to Paxman as well.
Driver. Wanted the return ball there off Karagiannis. Throw-in has gone York City's way. Well, Pep Guardiola's first competitive match in charge of Manchester City kicks off our live Premier League coverage next Saturday. David Moyes' Sunderland the opposition. And as I was just saying, just another reminder, the National League highlights programme tomorrow at 10 o'clock. That's on BT Sport 1. A yellow card here for Callum Driver, presumably for dissent. Actually relegated from the National League, Callum Driver with Dartford back in the 2014-15 season. 12 years as a youngster with West Ham. Clapperson with the header. Greenhow, on from range. That's take the goalkeeper by surprise. Flinders maybe saw him slightly off his line.
He's certainly got a good strike on him. 13 goals last season. He knows where the back of the net is.
Rooney. Klukowski making a run into the middle. It's over the head of Fennick.
Well, he's been excellent all through this game so far. Ben Greenhow. Oh, why not have an attempt from there?
Promising start to life in the National League for Ben Greenhow. It's his 50th Maidstone appearance. Rooney for York. There's a late challenge there. It was by Dumaka. The referee shows a yellow card here to the substitute. It was really late there on Rooney. I have to say, on first sight, it looked pretty dangerous, the challenge.
It did look pretty high. It's right behind that one.
Well, he's put his yellow card away here. He's got a spare one out, it would seem. I did think for a moment there that he might have changed his mind and it could be red, but it is yellow for Dumaka.
You want to see your forward man closing down all the time. But you see those so many times, Adam. Forward coming across the fullback. Looking at it again, it'd have been harsh to see a straight red for that, but you did see a few of the York players straight round the referee, trying to get in his ear.
Just over 10 minutes to go. As Rooney back to his feet, thankfully. Flinders with the clearance. Headed by Locker. And in turn, Kamja. Paxman gives it away here to Heslop. Kamjo. Connolly. 2 goals in pre-season, Aidan Connolly. Some impressive performances, but dispossessed there. Not quite the same intensity, understandably, for Maidstone right now. Really got to dig deep in the final 10 minutes.
Well, they do, it's a big 10 minutes. Poor Maidstone really played on the front foot in the first half. They've lost the long throw now of Fisher since he's gone off.
Greenhall. Some York appeals for handball there, but Greenhall goes on. He's got Dumaka to his left, Karayanis the opposite side. Just maybe a lack of communication there, because that was an opportunity for Maidstone United.
Well, York certainly throwing bodies forward, leaving themselves 3-on-3 at the back.
Jay Saunders, what a job he's done here. When they were appointed, he was appointed, the Stones were bottom of the Ryman Premier. He's gone on to achieve 3 promotions in 4 seasons. It is some record. I asked him about whether he's had interest from other clubs higher up in the Football League, and he said, why would I want to leave? We just keep getting promoted.
He's done a fantastic job here, and certainly in his managerial career, to test himself now in the National League. I certainly enjoy the challenge.
That's brilliantly taken down by Karayanis. Diving header clear by Higgins. Paxman able to get on the ball and turn, but showed far too much of it to Clovis Kamjo. He's been pretty effective in that central midfield area for York City, and got the goal that put the Minstermen on level terms. Taylor. Movement here from Karayanis, the opposite side, Dumaka, and Greenhall gets on the ball. Looking for the early cross towards Karayanis, good claim by Flinders.
It's a good take there from Scott Flinders. Just seeing Ben Greenhall just limping a little bit.
City aiming to bounce straight back to the Football League, a feat achieved by both Bristol Rovers and Cheltenham Town in the last 2 seasons. There's proof, of course, that it can be done, despite there only being 1 automatic promotion slot. Certainly looked a better side in this second half, York City.
Listen, it's not easy coming away from home, first game of the season. Expectations on you. Brand new squad coming along, not only playing on a 3G pitch as well. Jackie McNamara will be pleased with his second half performance especially.
Whittle's done well here, and the referee allowed the advantage, and that was fizzing, wasn't it?
A big difference second half now. The 2 wing backs, Rooney and Whittle, are getting forward a lot more. Back 3 of York are playing a lot higher. It's certainly coming into good effect. They needed to do more of this in the first half, using their wing backs to try and get on as much as possible.
I did wonder when this change would happen. It's going to be up top for York City. Fenwick being replaced here by Richard Brodie. He's something of a returning hero, really. Formerly of York City. He scored 2 minutes into his first debut at York back in 2007. He was the National League Player of the Year in the 2009-10 season, 26 goals in 40 league appearances, and his experience at this level could be really key. He's twice won the National League title with Crawley in 2011 and Fleetwood in 2012.
Certainly experience now coming into these last 6 minutes are going to be important. Maidstone, they're just going to drop off a little bit, and this is where Brodie can come into play. Trying to bring Connolly in as well. Klukowski. It's important now Maidstone keep their concentration.
York here, remember, looking for their first away win since September last year. Only won once on their travels in League Two last season. Only one for tennis. The football's not been bad today at all. Great start to the National League season. And it's still anyone's to win this between Maidstone United and York City. Inside the final 5 minutes, Karayanis, urged forward by the crowd. He has Dumaka in the middle, 2 defenders for attention. Brings Driver into play. Paxman's calling for it. It's a nice turn by Dumaka. Good centre-forward play initially, but the shot dragged wide.
He went for the wrong angle, the wrong corner. Good ball into him. Try and get that shot onto Scott Flinders. Good movement in the 18-yard box. Tries to go for that near post, snatches at it.
Brodie got something on it. Connolly just beaten to it there by Tom Mills. You can ill afford Maidstone to give York City the ball back as cheaply as that, really. It's Rooney who will take the throw in here. He's got some really good distance on that. It evades everybody, and he's back with Morgan, whose distribution is great there. He set Karayanis on his way. Paxman with the crossfield pass, seeking out Taylor. He's found him well. He's got the left back Mills in support. Plenty back here for York City. Dumaka with the layoff, that's brilliantly done. And the chance to shoot, saved well by Flinders.
That's a really important hand, good save there from Flinders. But equally brilliant skill there from Paxman. Drags it over brilliantly. Just there to go past Clapperson. Maybe chose the wrong angle to try and beat Flinders at his near post. But a good save there from the York keeper.
Made a difference since he's come on. Jack Paxman, 22 years old, former Southend youngster. Actually impressed Jay Saunders playing for against Maidstone for Witham last year. But Rooney, who had that hefty challenge off Dumaka a little while ago, I wonder if he's still feeling the after effects of that. Certainly he's going to require some treatment. Just over 2 minutes of normal time remaining here at the Gallagher Stadium. Well, maybe it was just a bit of cramp, which I suppose in a way is good news.
Unfortunately, the challenge with Dumaka hasn't caused a serious injury, but cramp certainly creeping in there.
He's going to have to go off here, Rooney, as he was just told there by the referee, David Rock. We're going to see a substitution by York City. Josh Robinson brought on here, number 15, replacing Rooney. Just over a minute to go then. There will be undoubtedly a fair bit of added time. We've seen a few stoppages. We're having a chat here with Dumaka and Higgins. So vitally important that York City are switched on here, having worked hard to get themselves back in the game. The equaliser from a set piece themselves through Clovis Camjo on his debut. It's taken an age for us to get this corner kick taken, but eventually in it comes. The referee's given the free kick York City's way.
Well, certainly everybody's wrestling each other. Joe and Mills. 6 and 1/2 a dozen on the other for me.
I have to say the fixture computer's not handed Maidstone the easiest of starts to life in the National League. Their opening game at home to the club who were playing 2 leagues above them last season, then back-to-back away matches at Aldershot and Chester. The next home game against one of last season's playoff semi-finalist Braintree, but they're looking to finish this game with a flurry. 4 minutes to be added on. We're into it now. Karayanis with the cross. Dumaka got his head to it. It will be a goal kick.
Well, he's done well since he's come on. Karayanis down that right-hand side. This is what Jay Saunders would have needed from his bench when he brings these substitutes on with his small squads. Every player has to step up every single game.
Back-to-back home games now, by the way, for York. Firstly against Macclesfield this coming midweek. It's Boreham Wood who visit Bootham Crescent as Klukowski is withdrawn here by Jackie McNamara for the closing stages. And it's Kane Felix who's coming on here, signed from Boston United. Just until recently he's been working at a shampoo factory. Got a call from his mum while he was at work. She said, "Rush home, I've got some news for you." He did just that. He said, "I shook off my steel toe-cap boots and got told that York City wanted to sign me on a 2-year deal." He said it was like a dream come true to become a pro.
I'm sure Chris Hargreaves will be snapping him up for a couple of bottles of shampoo.
Here's Greenhow. Could there yet be a winner in this game? He's got Karayanis arriving in the middle. He had Taylor there as well. Heslop, he's looking for Connolly. He's found Connolly. It's a chance for York City. And Brodie, can he find the angle? It's always getting narrower and narrower, and it's behind for a corner kick.
It's great defending there from Callum Driver. Getting good diagonal into Connolly, trying to create something for himself.
2 minutes to go. Connolly prevented from taking the corner. Richard Brodie being watched very closely indeed there. Determined to try and make an impression. The substitute and the referee here isn't going to let this go without having a word.
He's certainly come on, Brodie, since he's come on. He's tried to get the away fans going, be a nuisance, be strong.
And you can understand Rodgers watching him closely, but perhaps not quite that close. In comes the corner, bubbling about in there, and finally Lee Morgan can bring it under his spell. Well, he was clearly frustrated with that first half, Jackie McNamara. What do you think he'll have made of the second 45?
Well, I think they played with a little bit more confidence. Certainly the pitch made a massive difference in the first half, but their desire to get on the ball and pass the ball forwards wasn't there. But they certainly come into their own in the second half and finished off very, very strongly.
Whittle, Felix. A wide player with plenty of tricks up his sleeve. Felix. And he's given that away. And it's Greenhow. He's got Taylor to his left. He goes right instead to Karayanis. Last minute of added time. It's Maidstone United on the attack with Paxman. Lost a bit of the momentum there, Maidstone, but they retain possession as the shot's driven in. What an effort that was by Tom Mills. Needed saving too by Flinders.
That was a really poor pass from Kane Felix that starts the counter-attack off. Comes out to Tom Mills. I think Scott Flynn's always had that cover, but needed to make sure to tip that round the post.
Likely to be the last opportunity of the game, this. Camjo got ahead to it. There is the full-time whistle. All square on the opening day between Maidstone United and York City. 2 leagues apart this time last year, but nothing to separate them this afternoon. An early point in the right direction. Maidstone with a solid start to life in the National League. It was Clovis Camjo who got York City on level terms in the second half. You'd have to say a tricky opening fixture for York, who can head back north with a point on which to build. There's a long and challenging campaign ahead for both of these sides. And it finishes here at the Gallagher Stadium. Maidstone United 1, York City 1. Then it's Victor Natalie who's down on the pitch.
Well, Clovis, you scored an important goal at the end of the season for Bournemouth last year and rescued a point today. How important was that?
It was a good point. I mean, 1-0 is not a bad result. First half we didn't play particularly well, but we come out second half and we gave it a go. I mean, we know we were better than that, but it's just the start of the season, so we're happy with the point.
How much pressure, or had you felt any kind of pressure at all coming into this game? A relegated team going up against a promoted team, had you felt that at all coming into today? Yeah,
we knew that they'll be on it, because obviously they're coming from Conference South. So, and the one thing as well is the pitch. We knew it's Astro, it's new to us, and they're used to it, they've been playing on it, so we knew they had that advantage. But at the end of the day, it's a football match, 11v11, and as I said, the point is not a bad result. We're happy with the point, yeah.
You're one of 19 new players. How different, how difficult has that been for you all to gel together and work as a team straight away?
To be fair, the team spirit is really good. I mean, 19 new players, everyone seems to get along with everyone. You know, the team spirit is good in the camp. I mean, we're looking forward to a good season with the new team, yeah.
Overall, happy with the point to go back to York with?
Yeah, overall we're happy with the point. I mean, you're always kind of disappointed thinking because you want to win your first game, but a point is not bad.
Clovis, thank you very much for joining us. We'll let you go back to the team.